like I'm certain everybody Googled lady battle raps. I don't know what the right word is. Female feels like a fucking weird word to use personally. I don't know, but like I don't know what the right word is, but battle
Yeah, I
raps.
mean, it's definitely what people would have searched, right? Like what I
Yeah.
was talking before. Before we started the show, right, Sarah? We do where we play your music. We just talk about random things,
We
you
do.
know. Sometimes we talk about the person that we're, listening to, and we were playing your music, and I was talking about Pop Pussy, and I was remembering a show once upon a time where you did a show that you did, right, in New York
The
City,
nightmare.
right, for a majority of LGBTQI plus crowd, and
Right.
how like it wasn't like the friendliest of reception, like it
Right.
wasn't like where
Honestly,
you would think that they would have like appreciated the fact, right? So it's just weird how things used to were like. I think if
yo,
you were to be performing for that crowd right
right
now,
now, oh my
that same
gosh, that
song,
song would go.
the reception would be like through the roof
Yo,
from
people
that
would be
same group of
like
people, right? Because
big
that's the
empowerment,
nuance here that I
because
was
you're
trying to explain
literally
to
being
Holden,
like, I
was
like
like the
sex.
nuance.
Or I was like, damn, that's like bold. But you're not like, no, but you like flat out. And yo, I
Because
heard what,
at that time,
yo, sorry,
go
go on.
ahead, City. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, go
Continue.
on. It's better if you say this, right?
But at that time, right? At that time, it was like, oh my God, it was being thrown at me. And I was in a relationship and I was faithful at the time, but it was like so being thrown at me. And I was like talking to Dutch, like, oh my God, it's like everywhere. What do we do? It's everywhere. And it was like from the moment I came out the closet to like, think Dutch can agree with me because I guess if everybody doesn't know, Dutch been in my life since we were children, like literally six. He was six. I was like 14, 13, 14 years old. You know what I mean?
Aw.
But so he's seen all my transitions. He's
Yeah,
seen
yeah,
all of my transitions, like literally every transition.
yeah.
So I kind of like, how do I explain it? It's kind of like it's hard to explain. But anyway, going back to the original thing that I was saying, which I probably lost my train of thought because people keep texting me in the middle of this. Where was I? Hold on. Okay, guys, I don't know if you're watching this, but it kind of sucks when you text me in the middle of the interview while I'm trying to answer questions, guys.
This is amazing.
Thanks. Thanks. We're just
I
going to put this
appreciate you,
on Do
Sara
Not
Kana. I
Disturb.
want to just say you are wonderful, and this conversation is riveting.
Yeah, nah, it's okay. Cause listen, this is what we do. So we like
Facts.
constantly bring the guests back to, either we're steering the story in the direction that we want it to go for more information purposes, or we're
Mhm.
gonna right, like keep on going in the direction that
Yo,
you're heading into, right?
it's also like it's
So but
Twitch, right? So like people's just like, yo, she's getting text messages. Yeah, it's not fake. I'm like, yeah, it's not fake. I just like
Yeah.
threw my joint across the room.
so
Don't
hold
throw the
on.
joint
So
across
all
the
right.
room.
Okay, I found it. I was like,
Um
because you know what it is? I
I
get
was
scared the
talking
cat might eat
about
it. Anyway, go on.
I was talking about how different it would be, like the reception of you in this day and
Oh,
age,
right, right,
performing
right, 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 right.
at that to that audience, right? And so I
So,
think that it's also the nuance of the crowd, right?
right,
Because it's a New York City group of
Mm,
LGBTQIA plus people of
and
color, right?
right, right,
So
right,
it's
right, right.
also even more nuanced. So it's not like you're at fucking West 4th Street with the white lesbian, transgender women, whatever cis, whatever way of identifying
We was with
yourself.
all the AGs.
Right. Yeah, we was with all the AGs and they were black and Latin, which is like, oh,
Right.
and they're from New York City, which is like essentially probably like the roughest crowd you could go into in that, in that group of like, in if you're performing for any LGBTQ people,
Right.
so like that's like the other thing. But even then, I think that where you had maybe a rougher time then with them accepting you, because what you were rapping about was not out there. Like nobody was rapping about that.
nah.
Nobody was identifying themselves completely out. and talking about it on
Like,
record.
hold on, this
on
is right around
Right.
like when Ellen DeGeneres was coming out and like Wanda Sykes was making campaigns like saying "Don't say
Yeah,
gay" and all. That's like that era, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
remember. I was being asked not to use this
I
word no
think
more.
before it's a little before Wanda. It was a little before Wanda Sykes.
Okay.
Yeah,
A little before Wanda Sykes. But yeah, it was that era. And that was an experience because I remember telling Dutch, because I remember they're like, yo, you want to go out the back and the front? And I was like, I'm going out the front. Like, because I was getting ice grill. I think some might have thought that I might have been white or Caucasian, and because I'm fair skinned or whatever. So I still did the performance, and luckily I was surrounded by beautiful women that were able to divert attention. And while I was performing, they danced and they opened up the dance floor so they everybody could try to dance. You know what I'm saying? And
facts.
that worked out. That worked out great. You know what I'm saying? But here I am coming in with all these dudes because most of my best friends were males. So it's like I had my girlfriend at the time, who shout out to my baby moms, and we were in there with our friends, and then it was like my guys, and it was like I didn't have a lot of female friends,
Right.
so it was a little difficult for me. I never really mixed with females. Dutch could tell you, I always got along with guys famously, and even if I argued with them or not, like I always got along with guys better than I got along with females. So here I am in a room full of females that are like me, who probably seem like me. All they friends are guys. So we all have this tough on us right now. You know what I'm saying? So we in the tough world. We all got this tough on us. So I was like, you know what? Love me or hate me, we had fun. We walked out the front door while we was outside. People were showing love. You know what I'm saying? So it was a dope experience. It was an experience. It was my first experience dealing with like a whole room full of people that are just like, yeah, what this bitch gotta say? This little white skinned red bone bitch. Like, what she gotta say?
Right.
That was definitely the attitude of the crowd,
But
and
you
because I was there,
but,
you know. So
but
like,
then but you said you
I'm
owned
telling
it.
you from like firsthand being there in the moment and seeing it, and like, you know, like I said, you know, like I definitely think that like where that crowd was like not so receptive then, and I think it's because of like also other things, right? So like that wasn't the temperature of like everybody else, and everybody else wasn't as comfortable with people being out, and it wasn't the wave for people to just be so openly out
and
and talking
I was
about their
very
sexuality.
and,
And like
and I was
it
very
wasn't
vulgar
Sarah's
about it.
thing, it was everybody else's hang-ups. They like she was ahead of the curve. It's just everybody else's hang-ups was what made it that, you know, they didn't enjoy themselves, you know, where
Right.
they probably would absolutely enjoy themselves now.
Honestly, I
Yeah,
just
I
like
guess
listened to it and
that's
I
how it
was
goes.
like, if that shit popped like today, like just dropped brand new song, like that could go TikTok famous.
Yeah, it's funny because I see a lot of shit, and I'm like, I try not to think like I try to have as humble as a thought as I can, but I might have been a little too early. I don't want to say ahead of my time, but I might have been a little too early. You know what I'm saying? With the timing of my vulgarity, because I'm very vulgar also in real life. So I translated that into if the song was an angry song, I translated. So I the characteristic and the personality of every song, I grasped onto the concept. I came up in an era where every song had a theme to it, and you
Mm.
had to play that characteristic. Nas was telling a story. Slick Rick was telling a story. Lauryn Hill was telling a story. Fugees was telling a
That's
story.
really
So there was
hold
stories
on.
involved.
So can we just stop there for a second? That's a hugely interesting thing, and I bring this up because I'm gonna go with middle class folk. Have this idea that keeping it real is
Right.
about the testimonials and biographies of who you are as a person. But what you're saying about this is it's almost about telling stories that you can tell properly. Is more of a different nature and a twist on that same idea that changes the nature of what you would put on wax. That is a hugely interesting insight.